So I would consider myself an entrepreneur over being an influencer. Now, I do have a fairly large, according to me, a social media platform on multiple different platforms. And although that's technically an influencer, because I have a brand and a business where I offer consulting for different services, I would consider myself an entrepreneur. Some of the biggest mistakes companies, no matter how big or small, make on social media is they are not consumer first. So what does that mean? It means that they are not putting the consumer at the forefront of what they're doing. They're not asking them what they want or seeing what is happening in the day-to-day lives that affects their decision. And the brands are really focused on either trying to engage their audience or sell something, or just even if you're providing valuable content, it still might not be what the consumer or the person following you on social media platforms might be on there for. So during my VRLU experience, I gave a lot of advice, and although I'm technically in personal branding and social media management, and I can offer a lot of insight in those areas, I have found through a lot of my experience that the practices are pretty universal. Everything that I've touched on about personal branding or community building or even social media growth and the purpose of the platforms, it can be for any industry, and that's why it's such amazing content with what we filmed, because no matter what type of business you're in or what type of service you offer, the principles are the same. So it's very universal, all of the content that I offered and all of the advice and insight and tips, and it spans across multiple industries, which is pretty cool. If I had to give myself advice when I was younger, I think I would tell myself that it's okay to change. We talked about evolving earlier, adapting, right? But that not to be so hard on myself, and that my first business probably isn't going to be my last business. I mean, I've probably had now 3 or 4 different types of services or consulting niches that I've been in. And although I've been perfecting them over the years, the first business I started in is definitely not where I'm at now. So when I was younger, I wish I would have known that in advance, because maybe I would have been a little less hard on myself. So for anyone who is going on a similar path as mine, and now I don't mean just consulting, right, but just entrepreneurship in general, keeping that 9 to 5, my biggest thing I would tell you is you want to make sure that you have a clear vision on where you're going and why you're doing it. So where you're going may change, and that's totally fine. And the industry changes, everything changes. I mean, that's the best part of being an entrepreneur. But what doesn't change, or maybe a little bit, but really what really always stays the same is the why, right? And so for me, what has never, ever, ever changed is why I'm doing this, why I wanted to be an entrepreneur and do everything I'm doing, which is, a lot of work and meeting people and traveling around the world. And I wouldn't change it at all because I love to travel. I want to have my own time and have that freedom and flexibility to work whenever I want to. Now, in my past, I have, I thought that I'd maybe owning my own business, I'd have more time, and that actually wasn't the case. I had to learn more time management skills. It was actually much harder than when I'm just on a 9 to 5, because I had to make my schedule and I had to stick to it. Being an entrepreneur is hard, but it's the best experience. So whatever someone considers success is so independent and different per person. And a lot of people, I guess, think of success when they're comparing themselves to someone or something. And I think, for me, I don't think you can ever achieve success if you're looking at it from a lens of comparing yourself to someone else. And it's very hard to not do that, right? Because as we get bigger and better and change, so does the people and the business that we're in around us. And ultimately, once we hit a certain level, right, we can only go up from there. So suddenly our success level and what we're aiming for increases as well. But so does the thoughts and the fears and everything that we think about when we think of what is success. So really identifying what success means to the individual, you, me, or anyone else out there is so important. And what I've identified as success is being fulfilled. But being fulfilled is success to me, and everything that fulfills me in life, it's always changing, but I'm pretty sure when I see things that make me happy. If I could travel anywhere in the world with anyone, you know, I guess there's not two people I'd rather travel with. I just want to travel with myself. Being an entrepreneur, I actually have not had a lot of time for myself, so maybe if you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said someone or something else. But right now, I know a lot of people and I've made a lot of connections, so there's really not anyone that I'd rather travel with or be with than myself. I need a vacation. If I could travel anywhere in the world right now, I think it would be somewhere with a beach. Now, Greece is one of my favorite places in the entire world, but I've been there before. So I've actually been to a lot of places around the world, and there's only a few countries I haven't been to. And you know, if I'm going off the ones I haven't been to, I think Tanzania would be amazing, and then I think I'd like to hop over to Seychelles as well. In 20 years, I see Haley Findlay as somewhat of the same person I am right now. Hopefully by then, the dream of being Forbes 30 Under 30 is on there. So we got a little more time left. But beyond that, because 20 years is kind of a long time, you know, I hope to see what I'm working on right now evolve and be something that really impacts and changes the world. So I have experienced VR a few times when I've been playing games or, you know, console games, right, in the video gaming world, and it's pretty cool. It was my first experience, though, actually, with VRLU to experience something so up close and personal with a coach or with a consultant or actually in an education setting, and that was wildly different than anything else because it was like they were just talking to me, and I guess I'm excited to share with you guys because I hope you feel the same as well. And I, you know, I'm talking to each and every one of you. On the VRLU platform, can we go to space on there? That'd be kind of cool. Filming my VRLU experience was amazing because there's such a great team behind it. Without them, all of the lighting and all of this would not look so good. So I really take it with, you know, with everything that goes into it. It was a long day, but you know what? At the end of it, it's amazing content and it's such a unique experience. I don't think I can ever say I will be filming in VR again unless we do round 2. So with every message that I have and every speaking engagement or masterclass that I do, or even in this experience right now with VRLU, there's always just one thing I ask for, and that one thing is that you take away just one piece of information, because if you've remembered one piece of information, then that means I had an impact on you. And my goal with everything is to impact one human at a time, and ultimately that shifts the world.